Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Tuesday morning live stream Q&A where we go over Bitcoin basics. Today I'm going to go over the different cryptocurrencies that are out there besides Bitcoin. So a little bit of a departure, but still sticking with the basics. So glad everybody's here. All right, good morning, guys. Yes, the date is right and the day is right. That's cool. Thanks for joining me on the live stream. I see Celtic Fan FC is here already. That's good news. My mom is just replying. No, not yet. Period. I'm gonna break them open when the kids get back from school. All right. Yeah. So I found some. I went to the grocery store before I got here, and they have these things called Paxies. Paxi. Yeah, those look pretty good, huh? I'm gonna try them out. All right. So Celtic fan, good to have you here this morning. Uh, And let's see, let's go over to the screen. Oh, you know what, guys? I am so sorry. I'm going to need to adjust my resolution so that you guys can see my screen better. Let's see here. I usually do 4K, but it's kind of hard for you guys to see what I'm doing sometimes, depending on the situation. So I usually take it back down to 1920 by 1080 so you guys can see what's happening. I wanted to share this with you guys. My son loves to watch YouTube videos. And let's see, well, let's get it. Let's just do 100, right? And he loves to draw. So this thing here that he drew is from a YouTube video that he was watching apparently, and it has to do with computer storage, right? And his name is Alex, of course. So he's got the bit. I think he used colored pencils, so it's kind of hard to. It's like a very light color. So he's got the bit, the byte, the kilobyte here, and then he's got the megabyte, which is this purple square here, and then the gigabyte, which is the bigger square, which is kind of what we think in terms of these days as far as computer storage goes, gigabytes. I believe my RAM is gigabytes, my hard drive is gigabytes. Now, then we move up to terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, and yottabyte. So who knew that the Jedi Master had a computer storage term named after him? So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. All right, so we'll start here with, you can see what I've been thinking about. We'll start here today with the different cryptocurrencies. So I'll just start at coinmarketcap.com. Now, the market isn't doing that great today. Bitcoin's a little off its recent highs. Didn't break the 10,000 mark when it tried to the other day, so now it's down a little bit. But we're not going to focus too much on that. I'm bullish in the long term. So our number one cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. And let me just pop out the chat here so that I can move over and then I can see what you're saying and you can see my screen. We'll get rid of this. So Bitcoin is the number one cryptocurrency by market cap. It was the first real cryptocurrency, if you want to think of it in that sense. We've talked about Bitcoin a lot on this morning live stream. Bitcoin, and thanks Adam78 for joining, and Shah Yosef. Okay. Edward Berkman is here. Thanks for joining. So we're going to focus on just kind of a basic overview of cryptocurrencies this morning, and then maybe I'll get to questions. But so Bitcoin is the number one cryptocurrency by market cap and by tradition, and it is a decentralized digital currency. So it is composed of nodes, and a Bitcoin node contains the blockchain, right? Each node contains its own blockchain. So when you set up your own Bitcoin node, which you can do by downloading a Bitcoin wallet, like, well, the Electrum wallet does not actually download the entire blockchain to your computer. But let's see, bitcoin.org, if I can get that site. Okay. Right. So if you go to bitcoin.org, and they've got choose your wallet here. I don't really want to go through all this. Okay, whatever. All right. Ugh, I don't want to get into all of this. It's walking me through it now. All right. Choose your wallet. Is it going to do this again? I guess so. Oh, it said skip helper. Let's skip the helper. All right. Okay. So Bitcoin wallets here. We'll choose desktop Windows. All right. So Armory Wallet is a wallet that does download onto your computer, and it downloads an entire copy of the blockchain to your computer, and the Bitcoin Core wallet as well. In fact, Armory and Bitcoin Core sort of work together. So a wallet like that is resource intensive on your computer. It's going to download the entire blockchain. So it takes up disk storage space. It's also going to take up your bandwidth as it's downloading. So if you're like me and you have an internet service provider that has a data cap, if I spend a lot of time downloading blockchains and, starting from scratch and that sort of thing, which I want to do in certain situations, I'll get those data alerts because that's quite a bit of data that gets downloaded. Now, Electrum Bitcoin Wallet doesn't download the entire blockchain. It queries servers that have full nodes so that you can use Bitcoin without having to have a full node. But anyway, so that's Bitcoin. It's basically a currency at its heart. It doesn't do much more than that. It can do some messaging and stuff, but it's basically designed to work and function as a currency. Now, it's decentralized and nobody owns it, right? There are people that can work on the code base, and the code base is open source, stored on GitHub, so anyone can contribute to the code base, but there are a certain group of people that are entrusted with the code base that will vet code that other people submit. So, but that's the code base. But the blockchain itself is totally decentralized. Nobody owns it. And all of the transactions get recorded on the blockchain, and the blockchain is immutable in the sense that is protected by cryptography so that no one can alter the blockchain because of the high-end cryptography that protects it. So we don't have to trust banks. We don't have to trust credit card companies. We trust in math and cryptography. And because the source of the code source is open source, anyone can view it and look to see if there are, this prevents bad actors, right? Because it's open source. All right. And so that's Bitcoin, right? Now, the next big boy in the list is Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is similar to Bitcoin in that it is open source and that it's decentralized, but Ethereum is a little more ambitious. Ethereum wants to be or is a virtual computer. So its code base runs this virtual computer. And on this virtual computer, there is Ether, which is their underlying cryptocurrency that has value. As you can see, Ethereum has a value. It trades on the market just like Bitcoin. But Ethereum can run decentralized applications, or what some people refer to, most people, as dApps. Now, a dApp is a program that can run on the Ethereum network. Now, a subgroup of a dApp is a coin or a subcoin of Ethereum, which is an ERC20 token. And there are a lot of ERC20 tokens out there. So Ethereum can, through smart contracts, can issue coins which can also trade and have value. So I'm looking at the highest market cap coin that is a ERC20 token, and I believe it would be Chainlink at this point. Now, Binance Coin used to be an ERC20 token, and EOS used to be a ERC20 token, but they have since graduated to their own blockchains, right? So Ethereum is a place where new coins can start and have kind of a framework to build, right? Now, the next coin on our list is XRP. Now, XRP is not strictly a currency. It aims to be an underlying technology for value transfer. And so the idea here is that instead of using the SWIFT banking system for international money transfers and all of the other types of currency transfers that huge banks do, XRP has its own blockchain, similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it can facilitate money transfers. So, in other words, a big bank might use XRP for a transfer to, say, France, right, from dollars to euros. They would convert their dollars to Ripple, which is the underlying cryptocurrency, or XRP, I'm sorry. Ripple is the company, XRP is the coin. So they would convert their dollars to XRP, transfer those XRP through the blockchain over to France, and then the person in France would convert that XRP to euro and make that transfer much quicker, faster, and cheaper. Quicker and faster are the same, right? Than a SWIFT transfer. Because when you transfer internationally, you are converting your dollars from one currency to another, and there's transfer fees, there's conversion fees, there's this lag. Everything has to be cleared through centralized clearing houses, and it's very expensive and slow. So XRP has their business model is to replace this outdated system. All right. Now, Bitcoin Cash, which is also a currency at its heart, just like Bitcoin, is a fork off the Bitcoin blockchain. So at some point, and I believe it was brewing mostly in 2017, a bunch of programmers said that we should change the underlying technology for Bitcoin, right? We should make it better. We should make it different, right? But there was a disagreement. There was a split. And so there were a group of programmers decided to keep working on what's known as the Bitcoin core. And then another group split off and formed Bitcoin Cash. And that was a hard fork. So it was born off of Bitcoin. Now, there are a lot of people on either side of the fence, and the people in Bitcoin Cash tend to think of themselves as the true Bitcoin, right? And say that Bitcoin is not really Bitcoin, right? So I'll leave that up to you. But as you can see, Bitcoin proper still is the leading cryptocurrency by market cap and general acceptance, right, by the community. Right? And then we also, below Bitcoin Cash, we have Bitcoin SV, which is another hard fork. And I believe that's a hard fork off the Bitcoin Cash network. So, and that also is strictly a currency at heart, decentralized currency. And it runs on, it shares the blockchain with the original Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. But then there's a point of divergence where Bitcoin SV was formed, and it also claims to be the true Bitcoin. we can kind of think of these in like those timelines, right? You've got like this, it's a movie about the future, and you've got these timelines where there's a split. Like, if you ever saw that movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, he went in to get himself cloned, and when he woke up, he thought it was him, and it turns out when he woke up, it was the clone that woke up. And the clone had all the memories of the original, right? So, of course, he thought he was the original. But after the cloning, their paths diverged and they had different experiences, right? Pretty much the same. And then Bitcoin SV might be the third clone, right? So that's just one way of thinking about it, right? Shared history, shared memory, right? Now we move to Litecoin, which has been around for quite a while, and it was also a fork of the Bitcoin code, but was revised and renamed to be a completely different cryptocurrency. But Litecoin at its heart is a currency, right? It doesn't try to be anything else. And so we won't go too much into Litecoin, but it's number 6 on our list. And then we've got Tether. Now, Tether is what we call a stable coin. So it is also a currency. It can be moved around on blockchains, but it is tied to the value of the US dollar, and it is also issued by putting away US dollars. In other words, Tether claims to be tied to the US dollar and funded by the US dollar in the same sense that you might, back in the day before 1971, the US dollar was guaranteed by gold, and so any US dollar could be traded back in for gold, whereas Tether is the same but based on the US dollar. So Tether says that all the Tether that's been issued is backed directly by US dollars. Now, as it turns out, it's not quite that simple, and there's a percentage there. But you can really think of Tether as just a marker for your US dollars. So what people do with Tether is they may be trading on a cryptocurrency exchange, and they've made some gains in, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever, and they want to lock those gains in tied to the US dollar. They may sell those coins for Tether, right? And then basically park their gains or their holdings in Tether and wait for the market to go back down so that they may reacquire the Bitcoin or whatever at a lower price. So it's kind of a trading tool, but it's a way to stay liquid and not have to cash out back to US dollar completely, right? You're able to leave Tether on the exchange. All right, so we'll go down a little further here. EOS is its own blockchain, and it's also a virtual computer that runs dApps and has its own currency. And it is not a mined cryptocurrency. It's a proof of stake. So it has its own politics, and stakeholders have advantages. So the more EOS you have, the more influence you have on the decisions about how the blockchain is run. Right? Now, Binance Coin is issued and controlled by the cryptocurrency exchange Binance. And Binance Coin is also a bit of a virtual computer in that it has subcoins as well. And those can be issued. And then we'll get down to TREZOR'S, which has its own blockchain and has its own business model. I don't know that it runs dApps or not, but I know that you can stake TREZOR'S, right? And then number 11 for today is Cardano, which is similar to Ethereum in that it is a virtual computer that is decentralized, that runs dApps. And I'm assuming at some point there may be subcoins issued on the Cardano network. Cardano has been around since before 2017, I think 2015, 16. And it's a project that's being worked on by a lot of smart people, and they're taking their time and building what they consider a good network which addresses all of the shortcomings of Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So a lot of people refer to Cardano as cryptocurrency 3.0, right? Bitcoin being 1.0, Ethereum being 2.0, and Cardano being 3.0, the third generation of cryptocurrencies. I won't go too much further down the list, but I will point out that Monero is a privacy-based cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is transparent. The blockchain for Bitcoin is transparent. Anyone can look at the blockchain and see any of the transactions that have come across the network. Monero is a decentralized cryptocurrency, and it also is primarily a currency, but it has built-in privacy features in that its blockchain is encrypted to a certain extent. Transactions are hidden through cryptography, so that we don't know the sender and receiver. And you can't check other people's balances on the Monero network. It's a privacy-based coin. Stellar is another coin similar to XRP that wants to make international transfers easier and safer and cheaper, right? And then I will point out Tron being another big one. Tron is also a DApp-based virtual computer type cryptocurrency. So we won't go too much further. Good morning, Scott. I'm going to say hello to everybody. Peter, hello. David Mutru, thanks for joining me. Randy is here. Good morning. I will see you later, Mr. Randy. Then I've got a name that I cannot pronounce. It looks like Cyrillic characters. Good day, but tell me how I cannot throw the Ripple currency on the Ledger Nano S, nor how I cannot find the tag. Which sites can do this? Please write in a chat. I will translate text. So Ripple can be stored on your in Ledger Nano, and you don't need a tag to send it to your Ledger Nano. A lot of people get very confused about this. They may buy some Ripple on a cryptocurrency exchange, and when they go to withdraw it, the cryptocurrency exchange wants the tag. Well, you'll notice there when you withdraw cryptocurrency, and let me... there's a tick mark that says that the tag is not required, right? So you don't need a tag to transfer XRP to your own wallet, right? So let's see here. We've got XRP here. And as you can see, I have XRP stored on my Ledger device, right? This is my Ledger device. This is where the private keys are held. XRP is stored here. You can store the private keys for your XRP on this device. And you can transfer XRP from any cryptocurrency that supports it onto your device. You just don't need the tag, right? So when you do a receive of XRP, all you need is this address, right? I could copy that into my clipboard. You don't need the tag if you're moving it from an exchange to your own wallet. So there's no need for the tag. So it is entirely possible to store XRP on a ledger, right? So let's see what else we got here. Scott, good morning. It's good to have you here. Yeah, I'm okay. Iram, thoughts on VET, One Stop Neo. Digibyte will rule them all or not. I like Scott's attitude. Very forgiving, very open-minded. Joe Ryan, hi Rex, what risks are there in reusing addresses from Ledger or other wallet app? Okay, so a couple of people threw out some cryptocurrencies that I didn't get to. We got Neo is similar to EOS. right? And Neo has its own blockchain and runs dApps, right? We've also got Crypto.com here, one of my supporters, and they use this coin to power their cryptocurrency exchange, right? A lot of coins like that, right? Like Binance coin, the underlying coin on an exchange where you can save fees if you use the Binance coin to pay your fees. Now, Crypto.com gives you additional advantages when you stake your CRO coins on their platform. And then what was the other one that you guys, we didn't get to? There we go, VeChain. VeChain is another cryptocurrency. I don't know if VeChain runs dApps. I believe it does. It has an underlying gas, so I do believe that it does run dApps. Right, today it's down at number 30. And while we're down here, we've got some other stable coins. We've got Basic Attention Token, which is the underlying cryptocurrency of the browser that I'm using. I'm using the Brave browser. So the Brave browser basically runs on BAT. And you can use BAT to tip people. You get paid small amounts of BAT for watching ads. And advertisers can get BAT when they run ads in the Brave browser. And then content creators can also get paid in BAT when they claim their site. So in other words, I've claimed my YouTube channel. So when people watch my YouTube videos using the Brave browser, Brave will basically auto tip me for those eyeballs, right? So BAT is a very interesting cryptocurrency. We would refer to it more as a utility token than a standalone currency, right? So those are the ones that I didn't cover. Let's talk about Digibyte, since Scott brought it up. Scott is a big believer in Digibyte. Digibyte has a devoted following, and also Digibyte has been around for quite a while. It's ranked 72, but it is a community-oriented cryptocurrency, right? Been around for quite a while, very fast, very efficient. So you might want to check out Digibyte. And then there's another, let's see, I want to look at it on, whoops, let's go back here. Let's go look at it here. Yeah, VertCoin. Let's see what it's ranked right now. Okay. 178. But VertCoin is another coin that's community oriented, right? That you might want to check into. Some of these smaller cap cryptocurrencies that people might use. Let's go back where we were at Digibyte, right? Let's open that up there. So I'll copy these into your something you might just be interested in. And they're focusing on use cases, right? They're not like, hey, buy our coin and get rich, right? There's a lot of coins out there that are just trying to promote themselves to sort of enrich themselves or others that are investing in a particular coin or an idea. And when we get down to certain coins that are being issued, we kind of cross the line between a straight cryptocurrency and a company, right? So cryptocurrencies start to look more like stocks, especially when they first start and they're being issued. Say back in 2017, a lot of new coins were being issued on the Ethereum network, and they were raising money for their coins by basically people could buy those coins using Ethereum on the Ethereum network. So those types of what we would call back then initial coin offerings, ICOs, those new cryptocurrencies and or companies behind them were starting to look more like stocks than currencies, right? Um, and like we said, we've got other classifications of cryptocurrencies that aren't at their very heart currencies, like BAT, which is a utility token. And then we've got the classification of privacy coins like Monero. Um, and then we have XRP and Stellar that have sort of a different business model, right? So we're starting to look. There's a gray area where a cryptocurrency might look more like a stock certificate than a cryptocurrency, but you can still buy and sell them on their blockchains, and you can buy and sell them on cryptocurrency exchanges. So that's why there's been a lot of uh, with especially with the U.S. government and regulations, they really don't know how to classify certain cryptocurrencies. They're getting better, and they're working towards a system where there'll be different categories of cryptocurrencies, which will be handled by different agencies and taxed differently, regulated differently, and all that stuff as cryptocurrencies become more mainstream and they become more adopted um, overall, right? So that's kind of a good overview of cryptocurrencies. So I've got some time. I'll probably move some cryptocurrencies around for you guys, and maybe just kind of look and see if you guys are asking questions. Peter, hi, not sure if I've done a tutorial. I have some EOS on EOS Voter, would like to move it to another machine. How complex, difficult is this? Uh, I have to tell you, Peter, that I have tried working with EOS in the past and always been foiled. I'm not a big fan of EOS. I find it a little thick and hard to deal with. I'm not really sure where to point you on that. EOS Voter, I'm assuming, is some kind of website/wallet where you're holding EOS. You should be able to transfer it to another cryptocurrency exchange that supports EOS, if that's even possible on EOS Voter. One of the reasons I'm not a big fan of EOS is that in order to use an EOS wallet, you sort of have to pay for it. And the reason you have to pay for it is that in order to get on the EOS blockchain, you have to already be on it, right? You have to be invited by someone that's already on it. And it's kind of weird because it's a proof of stake based system. But there are third parties or gatekeepers or whatever that are willing to invite you onto the EOS network for a price. So I just find the whole system kind of wonky and flaky because Bitcoin, anyone can own Bitcoin, right? There's no barriers to join. All you got to do is buy it on an exchange and store it in your wallet, right? And then the wallets are free, right? You can just download a Bitcoin wallet. You can download an Ethereum wallet. You can download a Litecoin wallet. They're all free. So I never could understand why the EOS wallet was like something I had to pay for. And then you go to pay for it, and there's like 15 different places where you can buy it, and they're all telling you they're the best and that they're not the best. So I'm not the right person to ask about EOS. I tried to do some videos on putting EOS on a ledger, and in order to use EOS on a ledger, I needed a third-party wallet, which was Fairy Wallet, and I could never get Fairy Wallet to work right. And so I gave up. I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. A lot of people ask me about EOS, and I'm not a big fan of EOS. Let's just put it that way. So sorry to, sort of be a dead end on that one for you. All right, so let's check into our favorite exchanges. I'm going to need to enter my master password here. I usually do this ahead of time, but I didn't today. We're running a little late. So let's go over to Binance US first. I'll get myself logged in and see if I've got anything on here at the moment. I'm not sure if I do. I think I may have a small amount of Bitcoin. So maybe we could do the XRP withdrawal. All right. All right. So yeah. Okay. So I have $15. So why don't I do that XRP thing that we were talking about? Because it speaks to a confusing issue with people. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies that when you transfer them, they require a memo field, which is kind of a sub-address, and that gets confusing for people. Interestingly, what also makes it confusing is that most private wallets don't support the memo field. Like if I have my own wallet, I think I can generate a memo if I want to. Let's try. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and buy some Ripple. I think they have it on Binance US. Let's take a look. Do they? XRP. Okay, there we go. So we're going to trade for XRP. XRP US dollar. I'm going to go down here to market, 100%. And let's change this to 7. Maybe that'll... Okay, good. So I got some XRP. $15 worth of XRP. XRP is only worth 30 cents, so I should have some XRP. Let's take a look and see what we got. Sorry. All right, so we've got 57 XRP. All right, so we want to move this into our own wallet. So let's go over here to Ledger, and I'm going to connect my Ledger. And then let's take a look over here and see what we got. How's that? Yeah. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to enter my PIN. Now, I prefer to use the Ledger hardware-based wallet to store my cryptocurrency. You can download free open source wallets on the internet like Electrum, and you can use Electrum to send and receive Bitcoin. It's not really a multi-currency wallet, but there are others that are out there that are free, like Exodus. Oh. Is that it? No, that's not it. Is that it? I guess. Their website looks a little different lately. I don't know if that's it. It doesn't seem like the one I'm looking for. Exodus, and I can't spell. Let's try that. Ah, that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah. That's a wallet that you can download to your computer, right? And you can manage different cryptocurrencies. It's desktop based though. So if you catch a virus, or malware, or people could hack this wallet, and someone might sit down in front of your computer and take your cryptocurrency. Whereas the hardware wallet is offline, and it's a little more secure, right? people can't just use it unless they know your PIN, right? So more secure. The private keys are stored offline, right? All right, so now that I'm still talking, I need to enter my PIN. Okay. Always attack passwords and PINs with confidence and mindfulness, right? If you get flustered whenever, and I know people do, when they're trying to get something done on their computer or logged into something and they're presented with this password field, you get flustered and you get anxious and you get nervous and, and sloppy, right? And you're mad, right? Because you can't get in, you can't remember your password, you don't remember which password goes with which site, blah, blah, blah. So when you're presented with that password interface, right, wherever it is, if it's a PIN or a password or whatever, just like take a deep breath and approach it with mindfulness and just get it done, right? Don't get all flustered when you have to enter a password, right? This is my sage advice to you. All right, so now we're at the home screen of the Ledger device. And you can see there, if I advance using one button through all the different cryptocurrencies that I have stored on here, that I have an XRP app. So I'm going to enter that so that we can manage some XRP. Right, and I'll leave this up. I'm going to try and hold it up. So we want to do a receive because we're going to be sending that XRP from our Binance US account to this ledger, right? So I'm going to hit continue here. Now it's telling me to connect my device and open the XRP app on my device, which I've already done, right? So I've got both check marks. If you get a spinning thing here, check your device. Read what it says here and check your device. I get a lot of people, I'm like, it's just spinning. What do I do? Like, look at your device. It's you are you've got two things going on here. You've got software on your computer and you've got a device that's connected. They do a little dance, right? Let's hit continue. All right, now I'm going to continue one more time and get that address, right? And you'll notice there's no memo field. There's no tag, right? So I'm going to verify by moving one screen. There's that address. I want a fail-safe match that address to the one I see on my screen, right? Once I've done that, I'm going to advance over to approve. And then look over here in this corner, right? There is no dismiss box. As soon as I approve that, I get the X, right? So I've also had some viewers that have said that, hey, I can't get rid of this box. It's because you haven't confirmed on your device, right? So there we go. We've got our XRP address, but no tag, no memo field. What are we going to do? Well, let's copy this into our clipboard. Let's go over to Binance US, where we've got our XRP, right? And let's go to withdraw, right? And then I'll paste in that address. That's my address of my wallet, right? And then it says, okay, what's your tag? What's your tag? You don't need it, right? You just click no tag, right? I don't need the tag. And then I'm going to click the available balance over here so it'll autofill the max minus the transaction fee, right? So I'm going to end up with 57.37. Right? We're done with the side camera there. We don't need that anymore. So now we're going to click submit on our cryptocurrency exchange. And it wants my two-factor authentication. So we'll put that in. Oops. I was running out of time there. All right, and so Binance US, when you do a withdrawal, has a fail-safe. They're going to send you an email to verify that it was you doing that withdrawal. Like if somebody somewhere is trying to hack my account, then they may not. They may get into the account, but they probably don't have access to my email, right? And if they do have access to my email, they probably don't have access to my phone itself. So if they've hacked my email and then managed to hack into my exchange account, then they'll be thwarted because of that phone, right? The two-factor authentication, right? So you want to put two-factor authentication on your cryptocurrency exchange accounts. In addition to that, you want to enable two-factor authentication for all of the accounts that you own that support it. Your Gmail accounts, your Yahoo email, any of your email accounts that support two-factor, you want that on there, right? You want it on your Amazon account. You want it on your, there was another one I was thinking of. All of your bank accounts, right? Two-factor authentication is a way to prevent hackers. If a hacker somehow hacks into Gmail and gets a list of usernames, which are the email, and their passwords, he might try to log into my Gmail account from some other country or some other location. When he does that, it's going to present him with the two-factor authentication code window because he's logging on from a new device. Well, he doesn't have my phone, so there's no way he can get that two-factor authentication, right? So that's what two-factor authentication does. It protects your accounts. So if they can't hack into your email, it's very unlikely they'll be able to hack into your Binance account, right? Because that's what most hackers do. They gain control of someone's email, and then they use that access to reset passwords and log into accounts, all right? So protect your email accounts with two-factor authentication, please. All right, let's see here. All right, so we can go to withdrawal history. For crypto, we need to switch this to withdrawal, and we can see that the XRP withdrawal is now processing, right? I did not need that tag, right? I just ticked off no tag, no memo, whatever it was. All right, and then we can go over here. We can hit that. And then we can sort of take a look at, oh, it's already in. No, that was before. February 19th. Where did I get that? That's nothing. I don't know where that came from. Wow, what a small amount. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. Somebody sent me some XRP dust back in the day. Way back in February 19th. So it might take a few minutes for that to arrive. Let me take a look at what you guys are doing over here. Oh, okay. Good question, Sabe. Hey, what's the difference between legacy, SegWit, and native SegWit BTC addresses? Oh, yes, facial ID. I use facial ID, maybe slightly less secure than having a PIN, because only I know the PIN, but someone could hold the phone up to my face, presumably, right? But I like facial ID because it's very fast and convenient. So that's another thing that I like to enable on all of my phone-based apps, right? All right, so let's talk about Bitcoin addresses, right? So let's see here. I've got two different Bitcoin addresses, right? I don't believe I've got a legacy address in here at the moment. I believe I have one on the black. The address format for Bitcoin is just a way of creating a Bitcoin address, right? And I believe Bitcoin private keys have always been the same, right? And the Bitcoin public key is always the same. But the receiving address could be different. So if you're using the latest format, which is the native SegWit, it is faster and cheaper to transfer Bitcoin back and forth on the Bitcoin blockchain network, right? Why would you not want to use it? Well, because not every other wallet and or cryptocurrency exchange supports native SegWit yet. All right. So, but let's take a look at. I don't have the legacy account on there. The legacy account was the original Bitcoin address format, and I'm pretty sure they started with ones or threes. Maybe they always started with a 1. I'm not sure. But let's look at this SegWit address, right? So if we do a receive on this SegWit address, and I'll just say I don't have my device so I can get the address quicker, you'll see there that the address starts with a 3. So, and some Bitcoin addresses start with a 1. I'm not sure if that's legacy or not. I think maybe SegWit might be able to start with a 1 too. I'm not sure. But it basically just means that if you've got this type of wallet going, like, and you'll notice there that I've got both, right? Why would I have both? Because there are certain sites that don't support the newer native SegWit format. So I think CoinSwap, I don't know, maybe CoinSwap does work with native SegWit. But in other words, I want to withdraw my Bitcoin, right? And I want to withdraw to my native SegWit wallet, right? And so I generate a receiving address here, and it starts with BC1. And I take that address and I try to withdraw from, say, a cryptocurrency exchange. And that cryptocurrency exchange says invalid address, right? So that's why I maintain a SegWit account, so that in those situations where it doesn't support my native SegWit wallet, I can send it to this SegWit wallet. Notice that Bitcoin seems to be dropping about a lot today. That's okay. I kind of got taken aback there when I saw the current price of Bitcoin. But I'll be okay, right? We'll be all right. Let's go back over here to this XRP and just see. I don't think it's... Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, so the XRP has arrived in my wallet, right? So we do not need a memo when we are sending to, or when we're withdrawing to our own wallet. But what if we were going the other way? Right? What if we went the other way and we wanted to make a deposit? So let's take a look at that. If I want to deposit some XRP, I need both, right? And you have to say, oh, I understand, right? I understand I need both, right? I need the tag and the address, right? So, but I can do that with Ledger. Right, let's copy the address here, right, and we'll paste it. Now you'll see it says optional here, right, because if I were sending to my friend who's got a Ledger, he doesn't need a memo, so I don't need it if I'm sending to him. But if I'm sending to a cryptocurrency exchange that requires it, then I do need it, right? So there, right? So when sending out, they give you the optional tag field. When receiving, there's no way to generate that tag field from your own wallet. And that's what gets people all freaked out. They say, well, why can't, what's the problem with Ledger? I can't put, that's what the viewer mentioned earlier, was that I can't use Ledger to store my XRP because it doesn't have a tag field. Well, we don't need the tag field when we're depositing in our own wallet, when we're going our way, right? Because it's our wallet. We only need the address. Now, a cryptocurrency exchange, they probably have like a pool address. This might be a pool address that serves hundreds of different clients, right? And all of the XRP goes to that one address. But they need this tag to keep straight whose XRP is whose, right? I'm not really sure why they use that system, but they do. So you just kind of adapt to it. And XRP is not the only cryptocurrency that has that system, right? We also, I'm not going to do this, right? BNB is like that. If we deposit BNB, we need a memo field, right? BNB also has an address, but it's a different type of cryptocurrency, right? You see, it starts with, it's not like XRP at all. It's got BNB as the first character, but it does require the memo field when we are depositing it. When we're withdrawing it, we don't need that, right? We can withdraw BNB. I don't have any to withdraw, but I can just tick no memo if I'm withdrawing it to my own wallet. I know that's a little confusing for people, but it's cryptocurrencies are already confusing enough, right? Okay, so the address format for Bitcoin, and let's do. See if I can find something here. Not Bitcoin address. You want to be real careful. Yeah, we probably don't want to. No. Yeah, you don't want to fool around with an address converter. This is for. Let me see. Let's see. Here we go. Let's do a Bitcoin SegWit address converter. Okay. Oh, see, this is BCH. I don't want that. Convert BC. All right, so here's an article about that. And it's not a very long article. Okay, basically he's just explaining what I showed you, is that you can create different types of accounts on the ledger. All right, so let's say I go to add a Bitcoin account on my device. Now notice it's spinning there. Why is it spinning? What's going on, right? What does it want? It wants me to get out of the XRP app. I'm going to hit quit, and it wants me to enter the Bitcoin app. And once I do that, it's going to scan my device for wallets, right? Any wallets that are already in there in my Ledger Live, it will bypass, right? It'll show them dimmed because they're already in Ledger Live. Now it's going to find some other older wallets that I'm not using anymore, that I don't, that I've used in the past. Oh, and someone mentioned also about the security. I'm sorry I didn't get to this question right away. Someone mentioned about the drawbacks or the security issues with reusing addresses. There's really, you're always going to get the Bitcoin in that wallet if you reuse the address. So there's really no danger to not getting the Bitcoin if you send it to the same address over and over again, all right? The only drawback there is it's a privacy issue. So, and that a privacy issue can become a security issue. So if I'm using the same Bitcoin receiving address over and over again, and let's say I'm a merchant, I have a little coffee shop, and I give that same Bitcoin address to everyone that wants to send me Bitcoin, customers, suppliers, whatever. Anyone that anyone can take that receiving address and use a blockchain explorer to see the number of transactions and the current balance of that Bitcoin address. All right. So there's a lot of security issues around people being able to see how much money you have. Nobody really wants anyone to know how much money they have in the bank or on their person, just for a comfort level, right? Let's say you're in a market, farmer's market, or a bazaar of some kind, right? And you're trying to buy a painting of some kind, and you're negotiating, and you're telling the guy, okay, you want $50 for that painting. I'll give you 25 because all I have on me is $25, right? So that's all I'm going to offer you. But if he knew that I was actually had $50, then that he'd see right through that negotiation tactic, right? So there's the negotiation, and the same goes for a business, right? If I've got a business and I'm using the same receiving address for all of the Bitcoin that flows in and out of my business, and I tell my supplier, hey, I'm a little light this month, can you give me a discount? He might look at my Bitcoin address on the Blockchain Explorer and say, looks like you're doing very well this month. You could probably afford to pay me even more than usual, right? And then there's the other issue that, a criminal might view that balance and realize that you're holding quite a bit of Bitcoin and, try to coerce you out of that Bitcoin, right? So that's why the ledger generates a different Bitcoin receiving address every time you do the receive, right? It can generate new addresses each time. More secure, more private. All right, so here we go. There are a bunch of unused wallets in here that I don't need and that I'm not using, right? So mine's a little confusing, but here's the meat of it right here. Add new account, right? If you're just setting up your ledger and you're starting a brand new empty Bitcoin wallet, it's going to give you the choice. Do you want to create a SegWit address or a native SegWit address? And my advice would be to use the native SegWit because it's faster and cheaper to do transfers. Now, if you're just buying Bitcoin on Coinbase and then bringing it over, you're not going to save a bunch of money. It's when you move it from the wallet somewhere else that you're going to be saving most of your money, right? But you can maintain more than one account. You could choose both of these if you wanted, right? Just create two accounts, one SegWit, one native SegWit, for all of your different needs, right? So when you try to withdraw to your native SegWit wallet and they say, we don't support that format, you can give them your SegWit address, right? Your SegWit address is more compatible, right? The one that starts with a 3. So I'm guessing the legacy address starts with a 1 in general, right? But I'll link to this. Where are we here? Oh, I've lost my screen. We'll link to this so you can check out that article. Yeah. All right, guys. So I've been at it for about an hour. I got some errands to run today. I hope you enjoyed my explanation. I hope it wasn't too slow for you guys. I hope I was able to answer most of the questions that came out today. Hang in there, guys. Red days are good days to buy in my book. That's why I always like to, keep a little extra money stashed away for rainy days like this when it's red. And happy Bitcoin trading and Bitcoin holding and Bitcoin use cases out there. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. And don't forget, I do this every Tuesday. I might just go to 9:30. It's a good even number. 9:30 to 10:30. Sometimes I do 9:10, but I think 9:30 is a little better for me. So, and then I also have the live stream on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I go an hour and a half, talk about Bitcoin, the news, all that great stuff. So please join me whenever you have a chance. Whoops. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. I got a lot of videos out there on my channel Do a Google CryptoDad Bitcoin, CryptoDad Ledger. You'll find all kinds of great videos that I've got, step-by-step tutorials, how to do it, right? I'm not much of a trading guy. I'm just kind of a how-to guy. So welcome if you're first time. Great to have you here. Oh, and when you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.